You're rolling. We have 18 minutes. Very good. So here we are continuing the island tour. Just to recap, we get a round shot, and there's the tiki bar, which needs a little work. This beautiful old pine tree down by the swimming hole, which is a giant trunk and very solid. I don't think anything could knock it over. Probably deep in the rock. All these other pine trees fell long ago, including the worm dragon, which is starting to look kind of cool now that all the bark is gone. And our cedar root sculpture also. But these all cedar roots here. What are you doing? What? Talk to me. Is anything wrong? Did it stop?
Yeah. We can see our shadows in the...
Don't worry about how it looks as long as it's recording.
Okay.
Okay. So these cedar roots here were actually roots that were trees when the lake level was several feet lower. These roots were recovered from rocks underwater that are currently underwater. So that means these roots are, about 100 years old. Since they died 100 years ago when the lake was flooded when they created the lock system. And here's a beautiful piece of white quartz with some rose streaks in it, and this is part of the sort of ridge of granite which the island is made of. And you can actually see that on the latest Google Earth satellite photo. Okay. Just get a little nice sweeping shot of the worm dragon from the horns and the snout up to the slug eyeballs and this forehead antlers. Those are the slug eyeballs and the forehead antlers and the two little horns on top of its head. And then you can see his body goes back there another 50 feet. This was a tree that was blown over in the big storm of, I believe it was 2010, 5 years ago. And it was a big one. Okay, moving right along. So this year we got a chance to put in all the new vinyl windows. That was actually the Wendlings did that. Did an awesome job. And we don't have to worry about it for 50 years. We'll all be, well, most of us will be dead now. And we cleaned up the circle. Jeff Zimmerman got out the chainsaw and hacked up all that oak that was here from that broken tree and piled it up here and there and cleared out all the weeds, and I put the pine boughs on there to kill the rest of the weeds. And they got the canoe here chained up to a tree. Come on along with me now, don't trip. You can get a shot down there. Empty porch. Empty porch. I left the LED lights out, so it'll look like somebody's here. In winter, I doubt that'll fool anyone up. Everyone has solar lights now. And so over here. Okay, so over here. Canoe chained up to this tree here, behind this big oak. And this pine tree here, it actually has a lead right towards the boathouse. So what I want to do next here is climb up there about halfway and chain it to this oak tree, which has a lean heavily that way. And then I can just leave the chain up there until one of them falls and hope for the best, unless I can get in and actually cut it down. The other thing I was planning on doing was, if you can get a chain up there connecting them, then you drop this one and it'll put tension on the chain, or it'll pull that tree down. Either way, then you can cut it from this side and guarantee the direction of the fall. Okay, so now we've got a nice chunk of limestone off Boyd Island, but don't tell anybody. I mean, there's millions and billions of tons, so I don't think we're having any real impact. They're just laying in a foot of water on the north shore. Daniel and I found a great spot where we could just load them up on the Octagon And now we're making nice little paving lanes wherever it's too low and tough to walk. And this was last of Kathy Crow's old rental boat fleets, and I used it for half the summer, and then it just started leaking, so we flipped it over and leave it there. Here's the Burning Man platform, the floating Burning Man platform. This dock has now served as a platform for 2 years. This year we put steel roofing on it so it didn't burn to the water line, and we can reuse it again and again and again. And I also have 4 big tubes that we use for flotation, buoyancy, that we just strap under it. Then we can build a Burning Man and 2 people can stand on it. There is the famous Octagon Sans motor. It's quite a hit on the lake when you're putting around on that thing. Bunny hat on. There's the rust garden. The rust garden is very unique in that it grows as it shrinks. It's new too, and it's interactive. Check it out. See? Pretty cool, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and here's the deck. Let's do a quick deck tour. Decks 1, 2, and 3. Well, I guess these are decks. Is deck 1. This is deck 2, 3, and 4. This is the lagoon deck. And I built these out of stuff Daniel and I found floating on the lake, and stuff I tore off of other old docks and that, and a little bit of new lumber here. And over here we have the green lagoon, which when that algae starts to be consumed by bacteria, the surface turns sick blue, cyan color, and that's toxic, highly toxic. The dead bacteria produce a toxin. So that's the only bad thing about the island. You got to keep your eye when that happens. A few days a year, but the dogs don't generally drink it, but you got to keep them away from it. Anyway, and here's my giant deadheads floating underwater. This one is about 35 to 40 feet, and this one, and probably a diameter of 18 inches. And this one is about 12 to 16 feet and a diameter of 30 inches. And I know a guy with a sawmill down the lake. I'm going to tow him down with the boat, and he's going to haul them out and cut them up for me next year. And so here we are. That's the decks. Here's the bunkie. Here's the collapsed deck, which sort of slumped when we were doing the floating Burning Man because we had about 8 people on the deck. About 40 people on that deck. And I knew that was strong. This one was just propped up on rocks. They didn't have far to fall, no worries. So I'm going to leave it there because it's no big deal. This thing, oh my goodness, look at this. The damn thing's coming back to life. I hacked off everything I could and soaked it with Roundup for like every day for 3 days, and the damn thing's coming back to life. I guess next year it'll have to come out. That's just all there is to it. Okay, let's go. Here's my little pseudo barnyard fence and my cedar posts, which we can use for whatever we want, including a new crib under the tiki bar. Here's the back porch all tucked away. Don't really leave much out on the back porch. Here's the bunkie. This is my home away from home for 3 to 6 months a year. I think you all know what that is, the privy. And over here is my shower, powered by a propane and 12-volt battery pump. And out this way, west, we have the newest deck, which is also the oldest deck. I'll explain it. The sunset deck. This would be deck number 5. I just built this here out of old cedar lumber that was laying around. This was actually ice house, out of the ice house when I converted it to the bunkies, some of this foundation stuff. And these planks, they're like 1-inch planks, I got from when my friend Mike Forkadoo restored a 1904 barn, giant barn, and it was sided with red cedar. These are all red cedar planks, 110 years old, cut 110 years ago. And this is a nice little spot to sit and watch the sunset or have a nice breeze when the west wind is blowing in the shade. And also this is where the dogs sit and listen for the squirrels, and then they bolt off into the woods. See how shallow it is right here, like I was telling you?
Yeah.
And the rock is exposed now. The water's down a few inches since we were last here. Alright, and get a shot of this. I love this cedar tree. This was part of the charm of this deck. Is right behind the deck is this beautiful granite outcropping in the cedar tree. And if you'll notice, this cedar tree is very twisted and old, but it's actually picked up rocks. Oh, shit. It's locked in those rocks. It's ripped them up off of this and lifted them. So when this wind really blows and the tree shakes, you look on the back and you see the rocks are moving. The first time I saw it, from this side, Dad, the first time I saw it, I said, that rock is moving, what the? And then I realized it's because the cedar tree was resting. It was literally gripping it. It's twisting, like many things on that. Okay, now one more perspective walk this way. Yeah, usually there's a few boats in here and a bunch of toys and junk laying around. It's pretty cleaned up now. Looks nice cleaned up. Okay, I guess that's good. Thanks.